The Bloodline theories have been a lot of fun to discuss, so we'll check out another theory of Jey Uso convincing his brother, Jimmy Uso, to leave Roman Reigns' side. So, things have been smooth sailing for Roman Reigns and the Bloodline for nearly 3 years now, but ever since the calendar turned over to 2023, it's been one big headache after another for Roman Reigns and the dominant Bloodline faction. Their first big dilemma at the start of the year was Kevin Owens. Kevin was always going around saying that Roman Reigns still owed him a title match due to the screwy finish to their match from a few years back. Roman was offended that Kevin Owens would even say such a thing, so Roman used his new honorary Bloodline member Sami Zayn to go deliver a message to Kevin Owens. Roman wanted Sami to tell Kevin Owens that he didn't owe him a single thing. So, Sami did what was asked of him, but that narrative turned into Roman Reigns being suspicious of Sami Zayn's true intentions behind getting close to the Bloodline. Roman started to wonder if Sami Zayn was only trying to get close to him because of the world titles, to take over the Bloodline, or if Sami was up to some secret plan with his longtime friend, Kevin Owens. Those were some of the main things that Roman Reigns started to wonder about and accuse Sami Zayn of doing. So now, the Bloodline's big issue shifted from Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn. They had the trial. Roman was ready to kick Sami Zayn basically with no solid evidence of his claims. But, as we know, Jey Uso made the save with some footage proving Sami's loyalty to the family. But Roman still wasn't happy. He continued to push Sami Zayn more and more over the edge until Sami realized that enough was enough and hit Roman with a chair at the Royal Rumble. Roman and the Bloodline then attacked Sami and Kevin to close out Royal Rumble, thinking that they finally got rid of the big burden and issue that was Sami Zayn. But what happened? They solved the Sami Zayn issue, but then a new problem instantly appeared with Jey Uso. Jey wasn't fully on board with how the closing moments of the Royal Rumble unfolded, and that led to him walking out on Roman, missing several WWE shows, and going weeks without talking to anyone. So that goes to show the hectic few months it's been for Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. One big issue continues to pop up immediately after the previous one is resolved. It went from Kevin Owens to Sami Zayn to Jey Uso now being the main issue. Can't forget that Cody Rhodes is also lurking in the background of all this Bloodline drama. So Roman is definitely going through a lot right now. Roman will most definitely take care of business against Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber and go on to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. But the big mystery and wildcard is still Jey Uso and his actions. Now, regardless on if Jey Uso comes back right into the Bloodline or not, there's still going to be tension there between Jey and Roman either way. If Jey stays away from the Bloodline, Roman will instantly look at him the same way he looked back at him in the fall of 2020. Maybe even worse now, considering how Jey technically turned his back on the family. And if Jey does come back and re-enter the Bloodline, there's still going to be that weird tension and elephant in the room. Roman is definitely going to question Jey on why he's siding more with the outsiders than his own family members. That's something that Roman will most definitely bring up. And like we said with the previous few Jey Uso theories, the best way for him to accomplish his goal, especially if he truly wants out from Roman Reigns, is to break up from within. So, how could Jey Uso really accomplish that? Well, this theory comes from something that WWE teased themselves from back in 2021. So, in 2021, Jimmy Uso returned to the WWE coming off his knee injury. The last time Jimmy was seen in WWE before that 2021 return was during the build-up for the Hell in a Cell match between Roman and Jey. Although Jimmy was still recovering from the injury at the time, he still played a major role in that feud and story. It was Jimmy who also came out during the Hell in a Cell match and basically threw in the white towel for his brother and begged Roman for mercy. So when Jimmy came back, all of that was fresh in his mind and he referenced it a lot. He was willing to put everything behind them, but he told Roman several times to his face that he didn't plan on getting treated the same way Jey does. So Jimmy was the rebel there for the first few weeks back on SmackDown. And what did Jimmy do back then? Well, Jimmy was quietly trying to convince Jey to leave Roman's side, and for the both of them to go off and take over the tag team division like they've always done. But Roman was also in Jey's ear, convincing Jey to stay put as the right-hand man, and think about all the recent major success he was having ever since linking up with Roman. This eventually made Jey get very frustrated since he was getting pulled in two different directions. And similar to 2023 and what we're seeing right now, Jey walked out and went home on both Jimmy and Roman. But shortly after that, Roman convinced Jey to come back, and Jimmy eventually fell in line and stopped trying to break free from Roman. Well, this is all relevant because this story would be the complete opposite now. Back then in 2021, it was Jimmy trying to break Jey free. So what if now it was Jey trying to break Jimmy free? It took a few years, but Jey has finally seen the light and thinks it's time to get away from Roman. Only issue is that Jimmy and Solo are still there. So what if we see Jey still smiling in Roman's face and being on his best behavior, but when Roman isn't around, he's still trying his best to convince Jimmy to leave Roman's side and how they can continue their success without him. Jey would pretty much be saying exactly what Jimmy told him back in 2021, just for them to leave Roman's side and do their own thing. They were a legendary tag team long before the Bloodline even formed, so they can leave and still have that same success. Maybe Jey's now the one that's trying to show that light to Jimmy. The Bloodline was built around the idea of lifting their family's name and legacy together as a unit. But obviously, as everyone can tell, the Bloodline is more of a monarch than anything else. It's not like they're making huge decisions together and voting on it. It's not like that at all. It's Roman's way or nothing at all. Jey's starting to see that, but maybe not so much for Jimmy and Solo. So maybe Jey does eventually get through to Jimmy. Maybe Jimmy gets to the point where he has to make a decision between Roman and Jey. And that should be an easy decision because one is your twin brother and the other is your cousin. The twin brother is obviously closer to you. But the twist here with this scenario could be that Jey gets Jimmy on board to leave the Bloodline. But maybe Solo Sikoa is still not convinced. Maybe Solo will decide to stay by Roman's side and continue to be the enforcer for him. Solo is still the younger brother to Jimmy and Jey. But maybe the story there could be that Solo feels more appreciated by Roman than he ever did by the Usos. Just an explanation around that sort of field may be enough to keep Solo by Roman's side. So then, you'll basically have a civil war going amongst the Bloodline. You would have Jimmy and Jey against Roman and Solo, and that would be pretty interesting to see how they handle that, and who would come out on top in that situation. But what are your thoughts on today's theory? And are you enjoying the Bloodline story so far? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.